Hey everyone, so today I just want to talk about an often overlooked maintenance item on vehicles, and that is cleaning the mass airflow sensor. Now, the mass airflow sensor is on the clean side of the air box, and it basically tells the computer how much air is going into the engine so it can utilize the proper air-fuel mixture with the vehicle. Now, as the car ages and the sensor starts to get dirty, it will get less and less accurate, and this is one of many things that will degrade your fuel mileage over time. So it's really important to check it periodically just to make sure it is clean. Now, this doesn't have to be done very often. This is probably about every 100,000 miles, but unfortunately, manufacturers don't really add this to their maintenance schedules as something to be cleaned. But it is something that definitely does need to be done once in a while, and it can be affected significantly on your driving conditions, and also if you're maintaining the car. If you're driving in really dusty conditions, it'll get dirtier quicker. If you're not changing your air filter at the proper interval, it's going to get dirty faster. And another big thing that a lot of people overlook is if you're running an oil-style air filter, like a K&N air filter, the oil, a little bit of oil usually will come off those filters and get onto these, and that can definitely affect the accuracy of these meters. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this out, and we'll take a look at it on my workbench. On the Corollas, they're super easy to get off. Normally, I try to leave them on the box if you can, but the way these are set up, you have to take them off to get them out and inspect them and clean them if need be. 2 Phillips head screws, and then this connector here. The connector, after a while, is going to get pretty stiff, so basically getting this off, all you really have to do is just push this tab up to make sure it unlocks, and if you can't wiggle it out with your fingers, just take a flathead screwdriver in here and just turn it sideways, and that will push it off very gently. These 2 screws, you just take them out all the way, and you pull the sensor straight up to get it out. So I'll take it out now, and then we'll take a look at it on my workbench. All right, so obviously I got the sensor out. These are the 2 little screws that hold it in. Very small, come out very easily. These are the only real tools you're going to need. The Phillips head to get the screws out, and then if you got to pry the connector off, a flathead screwdriver easily does that. So here's what the sensor looks like when it's out of the car. This is all you see is this top part, but this lower part is actually what's in the car. And that right there is the actual element that does the metering. Now, typically how you can tell if these are pretty dirty is the upstream side of it, which is the side closest to the air filter itself, will usually be much dirtier than the other side, the side that's closer to the actual throttle body. So I was going to clean this, but this is actually extremely clean. I have 120,000 miles on my car, but I do all the maintenance at the proper intervals. I use good quality air filters. I don't use oil-based filters. And I cannot tell a difference between the 2 different sides, the front and the back of the sensor itself. It is extremely clean. It looks brand new. Sometimes you actually notice a little bit of dirt or residue buildup on. There's also some sensors in here. Let's see if I can get that on light. Yeah, there you go. There's a couple sensors in there that are also related to this. And you really just want to make sure that they are perfectly shiny and there's no residue, dirt, oil, any sort of junk on there that's going to throw them off and make the metering incorrect as time goes on. Now, like I said, I was fully expecting to have to clean this because I got quite a few miles on the car, but it looks perfectly clean. So I think at this point, I'm probably just going to leave it be and just put it back in the car. But if you are going to actually clean this sensor, you want to use Mass Airflow Sensor Cleaner. These sensors are extremely sensitive. You don't use carburetor cleaner, you don't use brake cleaner, you don't use throttle body cleaner, you only use Mass Airflow Sensor Cleaner. Now you can get these in smaller cans if you don't need one as big. These are good because, 1, they're not nearly as aggressive as some of the other cleaners are going to be, and number 2, it does not leave any residue on the actual sensors themselves. So it's a nice gentle cleaning. And essentially what you're going to do is you're going to use the spray nozzle on here, and you're going to hold it about a foot away, and you're going to spray a nice big stream on both sides of the sensor itself, and then you can also do the sensors up there as well. So you're going to be really liberal with it. You're going to want to put a lot of it on there, and then you just want to let it sit for a while. You can put it back in the car, but it's probably best to leave it out, let it air dry a little bit. But I wouldn't run the car for probably at least half hour or so. Make sure it dries. This is a relatively quick drying material, but like I said, you definitely want to make sure it's perfectly dry before you go and start the car, because then you might get a check engine light or false readings if it's still wet, because normally these things are completely dry. But it's definitely a good thing. If you're not 100% sure, you don't know if it needs a cleaning, definitely pull it out and under the light inspect the elements inside, make sure they're perfectly clean and there's no debris or residue on them, because like I said, as time goes on, this is something that the accuracy of these degrade over time, and this is one of many things that is going to basically degrade your fuel mileage. Now, most of the things that degrade your fuel mileage, people will usually fix or replace after a while, filters, spark plugs, things like that. But this is, like I said, often a very overlooked thing, and this will set off a check engine light, and your car will not run correctly if you go too long without cleaning something like this. So hope this was very informative for everybody. Thanks for watching.